I applied to Berea College twice, and I know you might be wondering like why, how. Hello and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for checking Study Abroad with Anne, where I share information about studying abroad from my own personal experiences and from the experiences of those that I know, to ensure that everybody are able to achieve their dreams. Hashtag international students making it, hashtag dreams come true. So I started this is my second video. So I started first with creating Berea College related videos because I personally went to Berea College. So I have a lot of experience and a lot of information as far as Berea College is concerned. So this is why I'm continuing the series, the playlist. If you want to check my channel, I have the playlist for Berea College specifically. That is why today I'll be talking about Berea College applications and what you should do as international student, as somebody that is abroad, somewhere not in the US, looking forward to be a Berea College student one day. Yes, so I hope this information is going to be helpful, and please ensure that you subscribe and share the information, share the link with people that you feel this information will be really helpful for, and I really appreciate that, because if somebody finds the information super useful, that is what makes me happy and gives me the energy to continue creating the videos. Yes, so going straight on to the video. As I said before, I applied to Berea College twice, and I know you might be wondering like why, how. First, based on my previous video, I said Berea College is tuition free. So imagine how many people are applying to Berea College. It's like a lot. Berea College receives 1,000 plus international student applications, and they only take 30 international students. So imagine what is the probability, if you did maths, the probability of 30 out of 1,000 students. Your chances are pretty low. So it's very competitive because it's tuition free and it receives so many applications, and its value as well. So personally, I had to give it my second shot because the first time I was not accepted, and so I think it'd be really important to know that you can, if you fail the first time, you can always try, honestly. Yeah, so just keep in mind that Berea is competitive. The application is very competitive, and you have to set yourself apart for you to be at the college. Yes, going straight onto the video. So one of the things that you need to know when you're applying to Berea College is definitely the application format. So Berea College does not accept online applications. Well, I spoke with one of the admission person one time, and they said that it's something they're considering, but they haven't really implemented it. So the application has to be mailed through a postal service to the college as a physical copy. So you can't submit anything online, or you can't send them an email unless there's something that is very critical, or there's no way you can mail stuff, especially during COVID. I think that's something that they're doing, but it's not very common. So just be ready to ensure that you have money for sending through. I used FedEx and DHL, which are faster, but they're quite expensive. They're quite pricey. So the one I used last time will cost me like around at least $50 to send the application packet. And then the second thing that you need to know is test code requirements. So Berea is a test. It's not test optional school, so it requires you to take a test to be able to speak English, to justify that you can speak English and that you're ready for college. So so the one that they require for everybody, if you don't take other tests, is TOEFL, test of English as a foreign language, and that mainly tests your English proficiency. And then they also accept SAT, which is an aptitude test, and then they have ACT and ELATS. I don't even know how to say that name. Anyway, so the minimum requirement for TOEFL, it's a computer, you can do computer-based or paper-based, and the minimum requirement is 68 out of 120. So I'll create another video that goes more deep into TOEFL scores or TOEFL exam. but today just know Berea's minimum is 68. But when you're doing that exam, it's good for you to get at least a 79, because that is the average score for everybody that was admitted. So sometimes I think that is why Berea didn't admit me, but I'm not sure, because there's so many other factors. The first time I had a 68, yes. I only had a 68 out of 120. I only got the minimum, but you know, here I am. And then the second time I had 88, so that was 20 more. You know, you always have room for improvement. So ensure that your test score is high enough. You know, start practicing early. And then the next thing that you need to do is application form. So Berea College have application form on their website. They update it every year. So that one you need to fill it out, where it has your personal information, where you went to school, your family background, all those stuff. So you have to fill that form. So Berea College application they call it application packet. So this packet has your test score report in it. It has the application form. It has the recommendations. It has the personal essays. All those things together, and then you mail it to the school. And then, well, the next thing that I already mentioned too in my is personal essay. So personal essay is a very, 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 very underlying, very important part of Berea College's application, because Berea wants to know who you are, what you want to be, and who you can be, and how you're trying to get there, and how are you helping the community. Are you a leader? Are you a change maker? Can you bring some positive things to the community? Yes, Berea needs to know that. So your personal essay should be Berea wants to develop change makers and people who are committed to their communities. So ensure that if you have anything, if you've been involved in the community, any community activity, any community event, anything leading within your community, ensure that you clearly outline that in your application, and just be authentic about who you are, you know, your life background, you know, things that you've learned. If something happened, what did you draw from there? Your passions, what you committed to doing, what do you want to study, and why, and how can this really translate back to the community. And then also, so they say that you need to give an overview of your life and education and your life expectations or experiences, sorry, and then what you plan to do after completing your education. What do you wish? Why do you wish to return to your country or not? And then description of ways you've impacted your community. So I underline community impact is good. If you have held some leadership positions within school, outline those. If you've been involved in different jobs that help you develop certain skills or certain leadership skills, outline those in the essay. The essay can be as long as you want it to be, but ensure that it can catch the attention of the reader, keeping the reader engaged. They want to know more about you. They're like, oh wow, this student, they started reading, like I want to know. You know, have to have that, catch the audience's attention at very early. So I'll create another video on personal essay just by itself, so that I can provide more information on how to write essays and stuff. Another thing that they require for the application is recommendation letters. So this is very crucial as well. If you know your teacher that can rewrite a good recommendation letter about you, they can talk about the things that you've done, they can talk about your dreams, they can talk about your passions, they can talk about how good of a student you are, or even if somebody maybe like a church leader or somewhere that you've worked that can really talk about who you are, what your dreams are, and what you have accomplished. That would be really important. So at least get at least two to three people. I think it's 2 recommendation letters, and then they also have additional financial recommendation letter whereby somebody justifies why they think that you should get Berea's free tuition or scholarship. You know, like, are you from a very financially challenged family, so they're able to portray that in the application and reinforce that yes, you really are a smart student, but you have financial circumstances, and getting this scholarship would really help you become the future leader that they see you as. So financial recommendation letter and 2 other recommendation letters. So those are really key. Some of the basic requirements, apart from the ones that I've just highlighted, is you should not have a degree, because Berea College is an undergraduate program, so they don't want to admit people that have a degree already. So you have to be fresh from high school, or somebody who have not gone to university, or you might have gone for a year like I did, but it's not like you have a whole degree. So in that case, if you say that in your application, they're probably not gonna admit you. Yeah, so those are the requirements. So going straight to the timeline, Berea College application deadline is very early compared to other schools. Other schools have early application 1, early application 2, early application 3, regular application. So some of them start like receiving applications in batches in months until January 15. But Berea application for international students is just one time, and it's super early. So by November 30, all your it's one application packet. Your application packet should be at Berea College admissions office arrived. So what does that mean? You have to really start planning for your application really super early, because you also need to take the TOEFL exams. So in that case, that means that you need to start preparing for your TOEFL exams. And I would advise, if you're in Kenya, for example, which is a 844 system, it's like American system where you have until 12th grade. So it'd be nice for you to start revising for these materials for TOEFL exams or ACT in your junior year, so 11th grade, or even if in another country, it's nice to start revising a year before your senior year, so that you can take the exam early, and then early your senior year you can take the exam and then see if you can improve your scores or not. And then after that, you can start working on your application, getting your recommendation letters, reviewing your essays, and then submitting your application. So I would really advise to start in your junior year. Start revising for the TOEFL or ACT. And I would advise that you take ACT, because ACT gives you an opportunity to apply to other schools. Berea does not require ACT, but other schools require TOEFL and require ACT. So ensure that, if possible, ACT is much harder because it has maths, and some people don't like maths. TOEFL is just English. Some people like us, English is tough for us. So if I was advised early, if I had this information, I could have studied ACT instead, and that could have given me a chance to apply to other colleges. And the more marks you get in ACT, you can even go to Ivy League schools. If you get higher ACT scores, you can get full ride scholarship to Ivy League schools like Harvard. It makes life much easier. So for Berea application, if you choose to do ACT, you have to do the math portion and you have to do the essay portion. So that's when it fulfills the English proficiency requirement. So another thing that a tip that I want to give as well to consider, if you're thinking about applying to Berea College, there's certain costs that you have to incur before actually Berea College accepts you. And one of them is the cost of the TOEFL exam. And another one is the cost of sending the application packet. So for the TOEFL, it costs around $200. It's $200 now, and I took it was $160. It's so expensive, and it expires within 2 years. It's insane. It's ridiculous. But yeah, so just ensure that, if you're from a very financially challenged family, maybe, I don't know, start saving or try reaching out to somebody who could help you pay for the fees. But if somebody volunteers to pay for you, you better pass. Because if you don't pass, you have to pay for it again. So just ensure that if you really know that you can do well in the exams, you can reach out to somebody, start saving early for the TOEFL exams, because $200, that's a lot of Kenyan shillings. Yes, that's a lot of money. And then also the $50 for sending your application packet. So those are the financial things that you need to be prepared for when you're thinking about applying. Berea doesn't have application fees so far. Another tip that I would give, if you have access to Facebook, you can access Berea's Facebook, and if you have any question, if you see someone that have already gone to Berea College, you can always reach out to them and ask them, about the experience, about the tips, always be be ready to like reach out to people and like, you know, talk with people and learn more from them. And you can even say this in your application, and I think it gives you an upper hand because it shows that you are really interested to know to come to Berea College and you're really engaging with people. Yeah, but I think that's the video for today, and let me know if there are specific areas of this video, you know, like I know like the TOEFL application, the personal essay, the ACTs. If you want me to like discuss a specific component of those, I would be willing to. But I know that I will create a video on personal essay, so if there's something else they'd like me to discuss, just let me know, and I hope that you're able to get on your application, apply in time, plan your time well. Planning is really key. Planning is key, and you can't just wake up one time and be like, yeah, I want to apply. You know that deadlines matter. You know, you have to keep this timeline somewhere on your wall and know that by this time I should have done this, by this time I should have done this, and by this time my application would arrive in Berea College. So just ensure that you plan, ensure that you are organized. Yes, and if there's any other question, let me know.